All right, let's see. See what's going on. I'm going to answer some questions. Christina said, you need to make sure you don't get assassinated. This is like my pet peeve. I mean, it's like, hey, An0maly, I'm a coward, so you should try to be a coward too. Please be as scared as me. It's like, you need to be afraid of being a coward your whole life. You need to be afraid of standing for nothing. And the reason all this is happening in this world and in this country is because everyone's a coward. So if you're a fear-filled coward, keep it to yourself. It's like, you need to worry about not getting in a car accident. You know, next time you drive, I hope you don't break your neck. I hope you don't die. I hope you don't get in a car accident and your head smashes on the floor and blood splatters all over the place and you need to hand over your money to your family. I hope that doesn't happen to you. I hope you don't slip on ice. I hope you don't eat some bad food and get a stomach flu. I hope you don't die of cancer. Yeah, I like you so much. I'm just going to, manifest all these horrible things onto you. Thank you so much. Yeah, go F yourself, but have a good day. It's like, this is the worst. Like, I'm so afraid. You should be afraid of an enslaved society. What happens in 5 years when you don't even have the option to say this and you're in a gulag and your kids can't even breathe without a cloth mask on their face? Does that worry you at all or no? Does nothing about what's happening in the last year, does that not like click in your head? Like, hey, maybe it's time to actually do something and take a stand while I still can. Or do you want the country to decline into like Bolshevik Revolution Part 2 where your ribs are sticking out because you haven't eaten in a while and people have to start eating humans in order to survive? Would you like that if all the men were cowards? No? Then you should shut your mouth, and when one actually stands up and says something honest and accurate, you should thank me. You should give me praise and positive energy, not manifest negativity on me, because you'll die faster without people like me. You're screwed. You'll be a slave. You'll be dead in 20 years. So if you want your kids not to die, I suggest you keep your fear to yourself, you fraudulent coward. Next question. Michael Mulhill said, you've gone crazy? No, this is like the standard thing. I'm fine. It's just like, oh, let me just fearmonger all the time and try to scare everybody. It's like, that's why you're getting enslaved. That's why humanity's forced to lock down, destroy themselves, give up all their power and money. And it's like, what do you think this is going to lead to? If people don't stand up. It's not that hard. Someone said it really worries me. I don't know if you're talking about that or this, but it's like, you think I want to live on Earth with you cowards? I'd rather get assassinated than have to live with you pussies. So I don't really care. I mean, first of all, I'm fine. I'm in no danger that I know of, and I feel great. But it's like, oh yeah, I really want to live to 100 with you guys and be a coward like you and just sit and curl up in a ball and be a slave for 60 years. It's like, I'd rather get, it's like, if more men were not total pussies, excuse my language, we wouldn't be in this position. But you guys are all cowards. And this is just a fat, no offense. I mean, there's a lot of fat people who watch my channel because half the country's fat. But in general, it's like fat, lazy, brainwashed, pill addicted, completely cowardly society. All these Christians are like, oh, if you're gay, you're going to hell. Probably, but what about what it says about cowards? It's like, it's just as sinful to be a coward as it is to be a homosexual. It's like, it says specifically in there, and I'm not defending homosexuality, I'm just saying, it's like, you guys read that 100 times, and you probably sleep with dudes behind closed doors, but in general, it's like, what about the part that says if you're a coward, if you have no bravery, that's a sin? Does that part not strike you as hard or something? Everybody likes to read the nice little quotes from the second half, but the first half has some bangers too. That's in Revelation though. But anyway, it's like, what happens if that happens? I don't know. What happens if you're a coward your whole life and the whole country suffers because of it? It's going to be a lot worse than if you actually stood up for yourself. Like, I'd probably be washing dishes somewhere if I was a coward. I'd probably be working for minimum wage, and then I wouldn't have a job, and then I'd be poor, and then I'd be in a high crime area. It's like, you people drive on the road. It's like, how many people die from car accidents? You go to a hospital, hundreds of thousands of people die from hospital mistakes. You guys don't care about that. You're so afraid of your 0.0001% chance of somebody doing something bad if you actually have balls or a spine in your back. It's like, what a pathetic country. When all this terrible crap happens, don't blame the left. Don't blame anybody. Don't blame a certain ethnicity. Blame yourselves. This is a pathetic country. And anytime somebody isn't completely pathetic, you go out on a limb and try to scare them. It's like, go F yourself, you coward. So tired of these people. Like, that's like the number one thing. Oh, Pitbull talked about communism. He better watch his back. You better watch your back, you coward. It's like, oh no, poor Pitbull. I mean, man, he's got to really worry about talking about communism. He escaped communism. That's why he talks about it. Lived a life, I don't know, made like $100 million. Probably got every woman that he's ever wanted times 1,000. Toured, made millions of dollars playing music. Oh, what a poor little baby. Now that Pitbull's like 45, he's speaking about communism finally. Oh, I'm so scared for him. It's like he lived 50 lives times your life in the 20 years that he was making a fortune. I think he's fine. Oh, Trump, he might have got threatened. It's like he's 77. If you can't make a stand for your country at 77, you're a coward, and you're a coward. It's like, just, these people are so pathetic. Like, where does it tell you that there's this huge reward for being such a fraud? If you're gonna be a coward, just keep it to yourself. Oh, maybe if I never do anything brave in my life, I'm gonna get a happy ending. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're going to get a society where nothing functions anymore, and everything's going to degrade. What do you think is going to happen to your suburb? It's going to turn into San Francisco. Look at Europe. You could travel around very safely with no worries in the world 40, 50 years ago. Now Paris looks like a trash dump, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse until real people stand up. Like, you're bringing hell on earth with your cowardice. That's why we're going to live in hell in 20 years. If enough people actually do something, they're not just going to go after everybody, and they might, no offense, but they might kill you even if you never do anything. It's like, look at the Bolshevik Revolution. Were all of those people standing up? No, millions of people got killed because nobody countered what was going on, and then everybody died, even the cowards. It's like, what part of being a coward do you think is so impressive? And if you are, please keep it to yourself, because I'm so tired of this crap. Now you should feel like trash for trying to make everyone else feel like trash. It's like, just stop. Aren't you? It's like, what do you do that's so rewarding? It's like, I sit in my desk for 50 hours and I'm afraid to speak out or I'll lose my job. I'm like, I feel bad for you. That sucks. But like, there's pros and cons to everything. But being a little coward doesn't really, it's not the most rewarding thing. And I'm not trying to be mean. I know people need to make a living and do sort of stuff, but it's like, keep it to yourself. There's good elements of going out on a limb and telling the truth, and it comes at a cost. But so does being a coward. So don't think you have this like safe high ground. Like, I'm so safe because I never do anything. No, you're not. You're probably more likely to die than me. Anyway, I'll read some super chat. Someone said, my stream is the God pill, my spending limit by. All right, thank you, Marcus. The God pill, I'll check it out. 26:37, someone said, they shall stumble over one another. Someone said, 26:37, they shall stumble over one another as if to escape a sword, though none pursues, and you shall have no power to stand before your enemies. Thank you for that. Someone said, now hold on, if you do not quote scripture to support that being a coward is a sin, then you should not be saying that. Sometimes, let me see if I can find it real quick. I apologize if it's sacrilegious, but let me see. I'm looking for it real quick. Give me a second. Yeah, it might take me a while, but I'll get it for next time. I apologize, but there is a scripture line that says that, it throws in cowards in the same frame as like murders and stuff. Someone said Revelations 21:8. All right, I should be able to find it, huh? Revelations 21:8. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. It says, thank you, my Bible friend. It says, those who conquer will inherit these things, and I will be their God, and they will be my children. But as for the cowardly, the faithless, the polluted, the murderers, the fornicators, the sorcerers, the idolaters, and all the liars, their place will be in the lake that burns with the fire and sulfur, which is their second death. So God literally he literally will send you to hell if you're a coward. It's like, An0maly, watch your back. It's like, according to the Bible, you're going to hell. So I'll read it again. He said, to the thirsty I will give water, and as a gift from the spring of the water of life. Those who conquer That's the people who actually stand up and do it. Those who conquer will inherit these things, and I will be their God, and they will be my children. But as for the cowardly, the faithless, the polluted, he puts you in the same frame as a murderer. The cowardly, the faithless, the polluted, the murderers, the fornicators, the sorcerers, the idolaters, and all the liars, their place will be in the lake that burns with fire and sulfur, which is their second death, okay? And, you know, a lot of people are born again. I'm not Mr. Pastor here trying to tell you how to live. We all make sins. We all have flaws. But this idea that being a coward is high praise, I'm putting an end to it. He literally condemns you to hell, and he literally says you're in the same category as a murderer. How come that never, everyone's always, you know, points out certain things. If you're gay, this, that. He also says if you're a coward, you're going to go to hell with the murderers. I'm not supporting the other. I'm just saying that's, like, who told you that being a coward was this, like, godly thing that's so impressive or so safe? It's so safe for me to be such a it's like, no, that's why the world's going to shit. And at a certain point, you know, who cares? Leaf Sanders said, evil will prevail when good men will do nothing. Thank you for the generous super chat, Leaf. And I agree. Evil is prevailing because good people aren't doing anything. And this is the part that bothers me. I'm sorry I get passionate and heated about it, but this is like one of the most common negative things people throw at me. And it's like, if Trump doesn't do something you agree with, good men are supposed to say, listen, we like you, but we don't agree with that. But no one does anything anymore. It's all about idolatry. It's all about false idol worshiping. It's all about popularity. It's all about fame. It's all about fortune. It's all about fear. Fear is taking over the country. If you look at a liberal and say, you won't go outside because you're afraid, how silly is that? You won't even go outside. You won't even hug your family because fear is controlling you. You know, you won't allow people to be free anymore. You're destroying society. The devil's taking over the planet in such a disgusting and more obvious way because people are just letting it happen. So the point I'm trying to get to is, like, you laugh at a liberal for having that much fear, and then you try to say, you know, you got to watch out because, you know, you're saying some stuff. You got to watch out. So do you for being a coward, because when this many people are cowardly, this is what happens to the country. And you think it's bad now to speak out. It's not that bad. You know, there's a lot of people, Naomi Wolf, when more people speak out, it's impossible to stop. When everybody not only doesn't do anything, sits to the side and says, oh my gosh, that's when you're endangering me by being a coward. You're not only endangering yourself and your kids, you're endangering me. So if you really want to help me, not only don't be a coward, and if you want to go even further and not help me as much, just keep your fear to yourself. Trying to push it onto me and everybody else who watches my stream, you're helping the evil people. I agree with that super chat. Evil wins when good people do nothing. And good people are doing nothing, either because they're afraid or there's consequences. You know, I'm not going to get into certain reasons, and I'm grateful I'm doing my own thing and having success, but it's like all these other conservative outlets that have all this money and all this influence, they spend millions of dollars in ads. You think they haven't seen my videos? You think they don't know who I am? You think they don't know that I can do stuff? I mean, I'm getting millions of views every week, and I'm writing, scripting. Everything I do is my own. You think I can't have a show on one of their networks? Of course I could. Besides Tucker Carlson, no one would even be able to compete with me because I don't even need a speechwriter. But they don't want to work with me because I say too much, or I say something that they don't want to say, and it's real, and they don't want to be that real. They want somebody that they can control, somebody that's just real enough to be conservative, but not smart or mobile enough to actually call them out on their BS too. So, you know, the point I'm getting to is, I forgot, but I don't really care. You know, it's like at a certain point, people hold themselves back if they're not afraid of being heard. They're afraid of losing money. The same way you don't speak out against it at your work if you don't want to lose the job. I get it. I totally get it. I don't want to lose $100,000 a year. I don't want to lose my job at Daily Wire. I don't want to lose my job at Blaze TV. I don't want to, you know, tick off Dennis Prager because then he won't sign my checks. Or I get why people are afraid, but I'm not. And I've never been, pro or con. And I don't want to be burdened, or I don't want people to try to make everybody feel like it's so terrible to do that, because that's why nothing is working. When you have a party that claims that they're against socialism and communism, and they sign trillion-dollar socialist communist bills, lock down Operation Warp Speed, and virtually nobody in their own party pushes back against it, This is not just a left-wing thing. The left wing is the worst. The left wing is definitely, the heart of it. But the right wing, it's all fake. It's all a show. Very few people actually do something. Donald Trump did something for a while, and that's why people revere him. Ron DeSantis did something more than other governors. Reward people for doing stuff, but don't just get caught in like a left-wing, right-wing paradigm where you never criticize or look at your own side, because it's like a two-winged bird and it's flying in the same direction, but the right is just further away. But at a certain point, it's just not going to matter anymore. When they consolidate power to a certain extent and nobody stands up against it, it's not going to matter. And I appreciate people who are concerned about me, but I'm that brave. I'm that honorable. I don't want to ruin the movie, but maybe I will. I watched a great movie, Ip Man, recently. It's about a Chinese, national, and he had options. It was like, either you got to purposely lose and then we'll spare your life, or you win and we'll kill you. And he won anyway, because he's not he's like, I would rather stand up for what's right and die than I would do the wrong, fake, cowardly thing. I don't want to live a coward. If my two options are live a coward and die a legend, I'll choose die a legend 10 out of 10 times. And I don't feel like I'm in any sort of danger or anything. I'm not afraid. I'm fine. I'm just saying that even if it came down to that, that's what I would do. That's why I can't relate when people make excuses. Well, what if they got to Trump? Then he's a coward and he let down his country. If you're going to go out, I would hope it didn't happen, but if you're going to go out, what better way to go out at an old age of 77, saving your country? Now you're a hero. Now you're revered a legend. Like, why go that far? You push that far into the global agenda just to turn around and stab your own country in the back? There's not enough money, power, safety in the world that could make it worth it for somebody that has honor, an honorable person. Trump just isn't an honorable person, or he got fooled, or he doesn't know what's going on, or it's this blind. I don't know what it is, but it's not my job to make excuses for it when my people, my country, are getting enslaved. If you look up the definition of enslaved, I don't say this lightly. Irish people were indentured servants. Black people were enslaved before and now. There's also other, the Bolshevik Revolution was basically slavery for white people. The Armenian genocide, people of all ethnicities have been killed, enslaved, and genocided. But this scheme is a slavery scheme. When you can't leave your house and you're forced to wear a plastic or a paper cloth over your face, and they do whatever they want, but you can't do it. You're a peasant now. They're the elite class. They're implementing socialism and communism, so this is the best time to speak out. I'm not trying to scare people, but it's like, we'll be fine, but at the same time, the more power they consolidate, the more they steal, the more they extract, the more they push forward. You're going to wish people like myself said more in these years, because these years are the safe years. If things go in this direction, I pray that they don't, but in 10 years, these will look like the golden ages of lockdown, even though it seems bad now, where it's like, it's all perspective. But don't think there's a reward for that type of behavior. And in general, we need to reward people who do the right thing and condemn people who do the wrong thing, not in some like goofy liberal way where you're like a hypocrite, but just like, dude, I don't know that this lockdown's a good idea. I don't think it's honorable to spend 3 years saying you're fighting socialism and then in the 4th year become the biggest socialist president ever. That's just what happened, and he's never really adapted. He just goes on Fox and does whatever Fauci says, whatever. But I don't know. It's like people think that's okay and it's bad to say something else. It's like, no, I don't agree, but whatever.